Right, I'm going to talk about trigonometry. Trigonometry. There it is. Well, it's basically the study of angles. And angles are pretty important for lots of things. Angles are everywhere, really. If you're making anything, you want to get your angles right. If you're making maps, you want to get the angles right. Angles crop up everywhere. What is an angle? Well, it's a bit difficult to define it formally. You can do it in sort of pure logical methods, but it's a lot easier just to draw a picture and say, well, you know what I mean. You can come up with a proper formal definition, but it tends to get a bit difficult. Angle is how much turning from one position, one direction to another direction, like this. And normally when you talk about an angle, you talk about that. You describe the angle as theta. I don't quite know why that is, but that's a Greek letter th, and you normally use that to describe an angle. And there's different ways to think about it. I mean, you can have a directed angle or an undirected angle. Let's just have a think about that. Well, you've got a line here, and you might talk about the positive direction being there. So here's a positive angle. Because you're rotating from this direction here, you're rotating anti-clockwise, which sounds a bit odd really. If you're going a bit anti-clockwise, you'd think that would be negative, but no, it isn't. And of course, going down this way, so you've got another line going in that direction, is a negative angle. Negative angle. Sometimes you care about that, sometimes you care about the positive, sometimes you care about the sign, sometimes you don't care. So you talk about signed and unsigned angles. Okay, let's just have another think about this. There's a line and another line. We can talk about theta. When you're talking about angles, it's nearly always best to start with a horizontal line, a horizontal sort of direction, and go anti-clockwise and call that angle theta. It just helps to orient yourself. I mean, yes, you can start there and go around here, or you can start there and go around there. But if you get a system like this where you're starting with some peculiar angle, starting at some peculiar odd angle like that, and you're going this way, it's always best to rotate it in your mind until it looks like this thing here. Okay, so angle is amount of turning. You measure angles in degrees, and I've got a picture of a protractor here from the internet somewhere. Not sure where this is from exactly. And we can see that we're starting. You see, they are setting. If you look at the outside numbers, at least, they are setting their image in just the same way that I've done here. So we've got 0 being from a point here going across horizontally, and that's this angle here. So it's going up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, up to 180 degrees. And I'll talk about degrees in the next screencast, but I'll stop here, and I'll talk about precisely what degrees mean in the next screencast. Okay, stop.